Well, I'm still waiting for a few extra things to turn up. I'm just having a little bit of a fiddle. I've made a power cable which will come off of the motherboard riser and provide power for the graphics card. Up until now, we've been using this as a test card. I changed the heatsink because the fan was rattly and horrible, and then this fan's heatsink was rattly and horrible. In fact, every tiny fan I put on was rattly and horrible, and so I ended up mounting one of these onto it just to make it quiet, mainly for proof of concept. But I have just tried to put this card in, which is the card that is going to go in here, and it fits lengthways, but it rubs up against this. I'm just going to put this card over here where it's safe. It rubs up against this bit here on this noise baffle channel, I guess, or airflow channel. And I don't really know. I don't really want to operate without it because I've finally dialed all the fans in, so I'm happy with the fans. The fans are all here. I've managed to trick the front fans to spin fast enough to push enough air through the system to keep the system at a reasonable temperature. I'm still working on a plan to trick the fans completely so that they all ramp up to full power by using the actual system board from a broken fan to spoof the IMM, to convince the IMM that there is a PWM signal, and then the IMM takes its RPM signal from the actual fans using 1, 2, or 3 fan modules to basically give the IMM confidence that it can control the pulse width modulation. Because the instant you cut the pulse width modulation to all fans, the IMM says, no, fans are broken and it won't start. So I have a plan for that. This, I don't know. This is going to be dirty. I wanted to buy a new one of these before I did it, but yeah, you can't get them, or they don't seem to be available. So I'm just trying to work out the best way of cutting it, really. I mean, it seems to be some kind of more a cable management than an airflow management, because what this is actually doing is most of the air is going underneath here, and some is coming across the top. I don't quite know why. Maybe it's a pressure thing. Don't really know. But this is a cable channel for cable management. So the cables are, designed to route around, and so this doesn't really do anything to the airflow, because all of the airflow is pushed down on this one, so there's nothing coming across the top, and any air that goes through these holes doesn't go there. So I'm pretty confident that is not an airflow thing, that is purely cable management. So let's see if we can cut it with a pair of what I call plastic cutters and make this fit. Oh, really doesn't feel nice. Really doesn't feel nice cutting stuff like this, but it cuts quite well. I mean, I could have used a soldering iron to melt it first, but I think that's a little bit dirty. And I'm trying to do it so that it stays fairly neat. And fairly tidy. And then we'll see if we can fit a graphics card in here. I really don't like cutting parts when I don't have spare parts. And I don't know why I don't have confidence in my own abilities, but I don't. Oh, no, don't be going inside. Why are you doing this over the top of a server? What? Why? Why aren't you doing this on a table? So the plan is to cut the least amount away as possible, but to make it as neat as possible. Right. So, yeah. Let's see. Yeah, so you can see that the air mostly has been forced to come through here. Ah, they're pressure relief vents, because of course you're pushing it through. Ah, yeah, okay, now I understand. I figured that was a little bit higher up than it was. Yeah, because there's the same thing over here. All right, let's see if we can seat a graphics card in now. So, just to remind you, the graphics card, you can't really see down there. I don't know if you can. If you can catch the light. Yeah, so you can see that it's a 16x slot, or 16x card that's being put into an 8x slot. At some point, I've been practicing desoldering these, and I will be adding a modified one of these into this, just to give me a little bit more confidence, just so you've got the locking mounting solution. But, let's see if this goes in. So the next hurdle is if it doesn't fit, because it grounds out here, then it will also ground out on the IMM's heatsink. Again, we don't know if that is the IMM's heatsink. We are just assuming it is. Right. Are you going to line up for me? Oh, I cut a lot more plastic away than I needed to, actually. If you look, I didn't need to cut that much away, but never mind, never mind. So, let's see if now we can connect power to this, because that's the next thing. Can we connect the power? So, how are you going to see that? I don't really know. Yeah, so this card has some power connectors that are on the side. One is a 4 and one is a let's do it like that, shall we? You might actually be able to see it then. Yeah, so you can see one is a 4 and one is a 3. So let's get the 4 ready. 4. I suppose this is what the cable management's for, isn't it? Oh, yeah. I might have to actually plug this in while it's not actually in the case. Oh, that's tight. Oh, didn't like that. I really didn't like that. Right, and then this is 3. And then I'm assuming that we're going to have to follow the cable management channel, which is like I said, what I believed that to be. I'm glad I made that hole. I was quite lucky there. By making that hole slightly bigger, I can actually get the cables around. I've made this cable more complicated than it needed to be though. And then, I'll just zoom back out a little bit, just so you can hopefully see where I'm going. You can see down here is the header, where we're actually going to plug this in. Just going to double check that we're going to go in the right way. Oh, that was a lucky guess with that cable. Lucky guess. I made that cable just the right length. Yeah, I think we're going to have to do something with zip ties though, just to tidy these up, because they're going to foul on the lid. And I just want to double check that that has actually gone in the correct way. Because the last thing we want to do is put ground into a so ground is on the pin side. Yeah, I mean, I have sort of tested this cable. I've pinned it out with a test meter, but we're going to do it for live. Right. So that was both easy and hard at the same time. So let's just take you off the tripod and run you through what we've done. So we have plugged this in using the header that we have. It appears to go where it's supposed to go, which is quite nice. And then it's going into the card. I'm glad I cut a little bit more away than I was planned. That's lucky. The riser seems to be in. I am fouling actually here a little bit. Don't know if that's going to affect the fans or the height of the riser. Oh yeah, I don't like that. Yeah. So I'm going to have to pull it out anyway and modify a little bit there. Yeah. But in principle, we have a very nice GPU inside a server, and it fits. We'll spin it up and take it for a ride. So we've just hit the power button. I've just collected all the plastic that I found on the floor. I think there's a little bit more here, there and everywhere. But I've also just started the server, so we will see if we're actually going to get a monitor connection or not. Of course, because we've been unplugged, we also have to go through the startup of the IMM, which is done on the internal monitor, I believe. But nothing went bang, which is a good sign. Nothing went bang. So I don't know which operating system I stuck in it. I have a couple of operating systems I've been playing with. I have on these ones, I think it's a Windows 7 home, which is genuine. It came out of a brand new packet, but I don't actually think that it's one of these ones that's surplus to requirement during the building of a system. So it's a system builder's one. I have a few of these from the years of various different versions of Windows operating systems, but I couldn't get it to register, which is a real shame, because I've even got the intact sticker. It would have been really cool to have put the actual OEM sticker, you know, on the case, and then upgraded the license to Windows 10. Perhaps that would have been quite nice. It just means that down the road I'm probably going to have to go out and grab a Windows 10 license key once I'm happy. I did kind of want to put Windows 7 on this, but yeah, we shall see. But anyway, there's, again, haven't lost hope, but I've also purchased some caddies. What is currently in here is spinning rust. Oh, our monitor's just lit up. That's nice. It's the wrong monitor. It's put the it's put monitor 2 where monitor 1 should be. That's annoying. Let me just change them around, because that will annoy me. This is the trouble when all of the cables are the same. There we go. And you can see what I'm doing in the background with the machine that I'm retiring. I'm currently in the middle of cloning it. But let's go back to our system. That's better. Monitor 1 is now monitor 1. And you saw the IMM manager come up. Yeah, but I mean, fundamentally, I've got spinning rust in here, and my plan is to build an array of disks, so I can build up all the storage and use this as storage. That's the reason why I'm messing with an IMM expander, with a RAID expander, sorry. But I think that is fundamentally proof of concept, so I'm quite happy about that for now. So we've been running for a while with the graphics card. I've had to make a couple of modifications to the system to make it work. I had to take out the entire plastic shroud in the end. But what's just turned up here is this, which is our sound card. So why put an analog sound card in? Well, it's because I like to have a line in, and I like to have you know, line out and mic in and stuff. It's very useful for when you're actually doing things. Yeah, so you know, this is useful stuff. Now I could have done this with USB, and in fact I did for a while use one of these little USB things, but this only gives you a mic in and a line out, or actually it's a speaker out technically. So I also tried with a little bit more of an expensive sound card, a USB sound card, but it's just a faff. Something like this is easy. I want a line out that goes to my mixer desk, and I want a line in that comes from the mixer desk, and that's it. Nice and simple, no hassle. So let's stick it in and see if it fits. Well, bloody well better, but I'm laughing because the box says PCI and PCIe Express, so I didn't think that these were an interchangeable socket. But it's a 1X. Let's see how it goes. So you can see that the graphics card is in, has been working comfortably. The only problem is I had to take out the plastic because at the end of the day I cut away quite a lot of the plastic. I was grinding it down, but the fans or one of the fans on the graphics card just grounds out. It doesn't always ground out, and so it sounds like a helicopter taking off, and then it eventually stalls out, and then the fan controller inside the graphics card detects that one of the fans has gone dead and ramps up the other two fans, and so the noise doubles or triples in some cases, and so it has the opposite effect to a quiet system. So I kind of have taken it out. It has affected the cooling slightly because you kind of need a draft blowing over here, but it hasn't affected it too badly. So, all right. So let's pop out the riser card, and then we need to remove one of these. Should we put it in the bottom one? Yeah, actually, let's put it in the bottom one, because the USB expansion is going to go in the top one when it comes. Yeah. Because that's the other thing that I'm adding today. I'm going to add some more USB in. Yeah. It always feels a little bit wobbly. I know why it feels wobbly, but it always feels a bit wobbly. That goes in. And then the other thing we're going to do is we're going to maximize our USB potential while we wait with, actually it's a hub from the PlayStation 3. So it's only going to give us USB, maybe USB 1, potentially USB 2, I don't know. They look like USB 1 sort ports, but they'll be okay for a scanner and basically the things that I run it off of. But it's a shame that that doesn't line up with the ports on the back. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use an extension cable, and I'm going to utilize a small expansion connector here. So this is designed for the Lenovo IBM system USB to stick in for running an operating system. So theoretically you can run an operating system off of this USB port, and we're going to utilize it using an extension cable that we're going to feed through the front, because I don't really want to make any holes in the back, and then we're just going to use just a hub to sit on it, just to plug in. This one actually came from a PlayStation 3, I think, so it's probably USB 1, but then this is a nice thin cable, so we're not really going to be running anything serious off of it. So what we're going to do is we're just going to check that the bay is empty, and then we're going to lift this out like that, which means that we theoretically can then feed this around the outside like that, so that we have this coming through the front, and then we will dock that back in. And then this is actually designed for like an IBM or Lenovo USB stick, or just an operating system to run on. So I'm guessing it's a fairly nice USB connection. So it's at least USB 2, I would think. And we're just going to, are we around the right way? Yeah, no. Why are you not going in? Are you some kind of special connector, or is it just that I haven't just being khaki. All right, so then that now has come out the front. So we've added a sound card and some more USB. Eventually there will be more USB, obviously, back there. I think I've ordered a 7-port USB, which is more ports than I need, but minimum I need one for the scanner. I need potentially 2 video cameras, a keyboard, a mouse, and some like expansion for other devices like cell phones and things like that, and also, believe it or not, a USB sound card. So I do need a few extra things plugged in here. All right, let's put the lid on and start her back up. And then we will refill the front bay with its drives. So these two we're going in upside down because they are not in use. These two currently have the operating system on them. These are SSDs. Now, the reason I put these in upside down is so that they don't accidentally lock into place. This is another operating system I'm testing. And that's the reason why I don't want them to go in. I don't want to confuse the bloody RAID controller. So then let's, oh yes, not perfect, but for now that will do. Yeah, not ideal, but better than nothing. So that will then sit back here. Good. All right, let's see if the sound card works, shall we? So we're just rebooting the system. We've installed the sound card drivers already. We did need the little driver disk, which is odd really, because you would think that it would support it. But then I am using a fairly old Windows to test things here. But we now have sound, which is great. And we also have the graphics card installed, which is nice. We have reasonably good temperatures. So when we zoom in, we have quite nice temperatures. I mean, I would like them to be colder, but like I said, I'm working on that. That's down the road plan. We have a graphics card in, which is quite happy. We now have an audio sound card in. So we're quite happy with that. I'll just zoom back out so you can actually see it. So what am I waiting on? Well, again, I'm waiting on some like an expansion card for USBs. I'm also waiting for some more hard drive caddies so I can fill up the front of the system. Yeah, it's a little bit noisy still. I would like to make it quieter. Don't think I'm going to get there. For audio work, it will just be a case of picking a different microphone so that it doesn't pick up the background noise. Certainly, I could use a USB sound card, and as well. So I've got the USB sound card, but for that I think I need the expansion, because this thing only has 5 USB ports on it. It has one internal one which I've co-opted with an extension cable, which I showed you earlier. It says zooming down, which is plugged in and then comes out the front case. I'd like to get rid of that, but that's quite useful. Just means I don't have to keep taking the panel out, because currently she's living under the desk. Some more hard drives, which leads me on to the backup plan for this thing, which is to turn it into a network storage device, which I think it's going to be, because at the moment I can only get 8 drives in, but the actual RAID controller supports 32 drives, if I remember right. But the actual chassis itself will only support 16. And to do that, you need like a SAS backplane, which I've ordered, and you also need a port expander, or a RAID expander card, which I've also ordered. Now, unfortunately, with this card, it has to sit in the front slot, and then you move the RAID controller to the back of the case, and this means I would lose sound, or I'd have to lose the USB expansion, or maybe I can sneak a small expansion card in under the graphics card and then have a little extension cable, but I think that's a bit risky. But this is down the road. I've ordered this just so that I'm ready. This was the backup plan in case everything fell to pieces, really, to turn it into a network storage device. So far, the spend on it has been about 300 to 350 euros, which is basically roughly where I kind of see where I want it to be. There are still parts that are still turning up because of, you know, these times we live in, and how post gets delayed. Future video will be the expansion of the USB system, and hopefully I'll show you the SAS expansion backplane and the cables and bits that come with that. I kind of need those bits and pieces because I also have a plan that I'm working on with something else that I can't remember if I've already shown in a video or not. I think I have, but I can't remember. With this, which is this plugs into the RAID, so this has got a RAID connector, and on the other end you have standard SATA connectors, and then the plan is to source power from the SAS backplane connector, because I've ordered an extra one of them to get the 12 and 5 volts. I don't think you're going to get 3 volts going to these, and this way I can actually plug large hard drives in, so I can get rid of some of my large hard drives I have, because I have some, like, you know, terabyte hard drives that are in the bigger form factor that I want to get rid of, which I can use. So it means I could put 4 inside, and there's a space where inside the chassis of the server, it's where you're supposed to put the batteries, the backup batteries for the RAID system. But it turns out it's a perfect space for 2 hard drives, and obviously you'd put some plastic or something in there to stop them shorting out. But yeah, and it's got its own little cooling duct as well and everything. So because it's designed for batteries, so 2 large hard drives going in there, and that would probably be my operating system for the medium term. Life expectancy for this project about 3 years before I probably then go and buy a new computer. Still to come, like I said, USB expansion. I want to increase the RAM. That's on the list of things to do. And I just want to be able to expand the storage in it because the idea is to be using the RAID system, so you have redundant storage, and that way if a hard drive fails, it's not a big deal. You just stick another one in and let the system repair itself. What is the point of running something off of a RAID controller if you aren't going to use the RAID controller, is my logic. Yeah. All right, well, till the next time, thank you for watching. Hope this was interesting, and thank you for playing along.